welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be teaching you or showing a tutorial of how I made these adorable yarn rainbows. So they're really very easy to put together. The technique is really not hard, it's just a little bit fiddly at the start and the end, and really it just takes a little bit of time because it's such a repetitive task. So let's get straight into it. What you are going to need is some form of rope. This is just like a plain white, more of a cream colored rope that I got from a $2 store, and I think it was 50 meters for like $3, so really cheap. You're also going to need some yarn. Now I am using a nice sort of baby yellow, a glittery pink yarn, and also a glittery white yarn. So they're the basic materials that you're going to need. I like to add a bow at the bottom of mine, so I have my collection of fabric bows here that I will pick from when I put it together. And you're also going to need a hot glue gun. I just use the hot glue gun because it is the easiest way to do it. So what you're going to want to do is take your piece of rope, and I'm going to start by picking my largest one. So this is going to show me how big I want my rainbow to be, and I kind of want to make a smaller one today so I can use it as a charm. So I'm going to cut it there, and I just cut it with a pair of scissors. Now, if you want to make it the size of mine, this piece of rope here measures 6.5 inches. So then what I like to do, and I find the easiest way, is I use the outer piece to help measure where I'm going to cut my inner piece. So there we go. This piece here measures 6 inches, and then I'm going to use this one here to help me measure my littlest piece, which, there we go, yeah, right about there I think. I'm happy with that. And my inner piece measures 5.25 inches. So what you're going to do is just figure out what color you want for each, and I think I want to go maybe yellow on the outside. It doesn't really matter, it's just whatever you want to pick. I'm actually going to go yellow on the outside. So we're going to take our biggest piece here, and I'm going to take my yarn, which I need to find the end of it. There we go, that should be enough. So I've just grabbed the end piece of my yarn off. I'm just putting the cap back on because I like it because it holds it together. So I've got a decent amount here, but it might not be enough. So what I'm going to do is put a little bit of hot glue at about, I would say 3/4 of an inch. Sorry, at about 3/4 of an inch up on the rope. And then I'm going to stick my piece of yarn on top of it. Just be careful not to burn yourself, and I like to just squeeze it down on my thumb. Then I'm going to simply wrap my yarn around the rope like so. I'm not doing it tightly at all. I'm actually not making any tension at all on the yarn. I'm just very gently wrapping it around. What I actually do sometimes is I wrap it around like maybe 3 times, and then I just pull it down, and then I do it again. I just find it the quickest way to do that. And I'm going to do that to every single piece of rope. And when I get to the end, I'll show you what I do. At the exact same spot as I started it here. And I basically do the exact same thing as what I did at the front. I put a dab of glue down, and I wrap the yarn to the piece over the top of it. Then I hold it down, and I'm going to simply just cut as close to it as I can. What you can do if you really want to is add a little extra dab of glue just to get those couple of flyaway pieces of yarn, which I'm going to do on this one. And then there you have your basic piece. So I'm going to do that for my other 2 colors. So for my pink and my white,
and then I'm going to come back and show you what to do next. As you can see, I have my 3 pieces wound around. Now what we're going to do next is get this really pretty frayed effect that you can see down the bottom. What I like to do is take my tweezers like this and I just pull it down until I get to the end piece, and then I move around to the other side. I start at the top and work my way down, because if I pull from the bottom, it will not work as much. So frayed. Now my piece of rope has this like felt on the inside, and I just cut it out. So I just fold down my fringe and I get as close to it as I can without cutting off. I simply cut it off, and then there's that, and then I do the exact same thing on the other side, and I'm going to do that for all 3 of the okay. All right, so that's done. What I'm going to do now is simply bend this to kind of the position that I want it to be, and I actually like to kind of start with my first one, and I want this to be really quite thin. And I'm just going to take my hot glue and put a little bit on it at a time, and I like to line it up with it there. This will just help it to stay bent at the same time. Squish it together. Then I take my next little bit of hot glue. I have a needle nose precision hot glue gun. It just makes it a lot easier. So there we go. And I'm not stretching the rope at all. I'm making sure that it is completely normal. I'm actually going to just go to the end on this one. Go. Then I'm going to pull it and shape it back together, and I just like to kind of squeeze it a little bit. And there we go, because this one I wanted it to be really quite taut. There we go. Okay, so then I'm going to do the exact same thing with the outside one. So just take my hot glue and start to work my way around with it. There we go, squeeze that end on. And then I'm gonna take this next bit. I'm sorry if my head's in the way. It's a bit hard to see these sometimes. So there we go, squeeze it again. And just every time I'm squeezing, as the hot glue sets, it's going to hold it in place. Because if you look at this one here, because I held it like that, it's going to set like that. And because I'm holding this one in a tighter position, that's what's going to hold it in that tighter position, because hot glue is basically just plastic that's melted. And then there we go, so I'm holding that nice and tight together, waiting for that hot glue to set. And as you can see, that is looking really cute. Now I need a bow to go on there. I'm gonna go with blue today. And then I just basically have to glue my bows on. So I just take my hot glue, I just use my tweezers because I feel like it looks a bit cuter, and then squeeze that down. Same thing, I'm taking my tweezers, putting my hot glue on, and then putting it down. Now I'm putting it just at the ends to cover up the where the yarn is on, so that now it's simply like that. So here is an example of some that I made. This is the one that I made today. If you want to put a charm in there, this is what you need to do. So you're going to want to get an eye pin, which I have here. I'm I'm going to take my pliers and just attempt to make a little bore hole in it, basically. So here it is, my super quick and easy yarn rainbow tutorial. If you enjoyed this tutorial, leave a like and a comment, and if you really liked it, please consider subscribing. That would really help me out. So thanks for watching, guys. Bye.